Kia ora. I'm Dan Crossett, and I'm a marine ecologist at the Cawthron Institute and a researcher as part of the Restore Our Meadows seagrass restoration program. As you may know, seagrasses are in decline around the globe and also in New Zealand. Seagrasses are coastal foundation species that increase biodiversity and water quality. Seagrass meadows can also store carbon and act as important nursery grounds for many recreational and commercial fisheries. As part of the Restore Our Meadows research program, we're working out ways how to restore seagrass meadows using seeds. We recently published a step-by-step blueprint that shows people how to carry out seagrass restoration in Aotearoa, New Zealand. It's a great resource you could use if you're thinking about starting your own project, and you can download it from our project website. If you are thinking about starting a seagrass project, it is a good idea to start surveying the meadow patterns from your potential donor meadows so you can know when peak flowering happens and whether or not you can actually use that meadow as a donor meadow for your seed-based restoration. More information to identify suitable donor meadows can also be found in the blueprint. Of course, though, you can still survey even if you aren't ready to start your restoration project. In this video, we will first show you how to find flowers using a presence-absence survey and upload it to our National Seagrass Flowering Database. Then we will show you how to do a more comprehensive seagrass flower survey. The presence-absence survey is the quickest and easiest way to help us keep track of seagrass flowers. You can do this survey anytime you come across a seagrass meadow, maybe while you're on holiday or at a spot you visit often. The easiest way to record your observations is by using the Seagrass Flower Survey app. That way, your data will automatically go into the Aotearoa Seagrass Flower Survey database. First, walk into the seagrass meadow at low tide and search for flowers. They're pretty small, only 1 to 2 centimeters long, so you'll need to crouch down and take a close look. Record whether you see flowers or not. If you do spot them, take 1 to 3 photos that show the flowers clearly. You can also take more general photos of the meadow if you have time. Make sure you also record the location of the meadow, using GPS if you can, or just a clear description, along with the date and time. And that's it. If you're not using the app, you can email your observations and photos directly to seagrass@cawthron.org.nz. The first thing you need to do to look for flowers is to look at your local tide schedule, because most of the flowers you can be looking for in intertidal, and so it needs to be low tide, like here. Once you're at your survey site, you first need to walk from high tide, area closest to the shore, to low tide, area closest to the water, of your intertidal meadow, and see if you can find any seagrass flowers. Flowers can be identified by looking for light yellow or green coloring on seagrass blades. On closer inspection, you will see flowering shoots with 1 or more spathes. Each spathe contains a cluster of male and female flowers. There may be stigmas poking out of that. If no flowers are found, make note of this in the datasheet and do not set up any marked quadrats. Make sure to spend a good amount of time looking for flowers to determine if flowers are absent, because flowering distribution can be non-uniform. If no flowers are found, this is the end of your survey, and you can come back in a month's time and see if there are any flowers then. If flowering is present, mark that spot with a peg and take GPS coordinates of the location. Using flagging tape or similar, the peg should be labeled with the tidal height and something to indicate that this is the starting peg of your high tide transect. Place a 50 by 50 centimeter quadrat, and facing shore, take a picture of the quadrat and complete the following tasks. Photograph site name, which will be written on the flagging tape on the peg. Photograph the quadrat for later quantification of seagrass percent cover. Count the number of flowers. Record what stage each flower is, and determine what the stage of maturity of the flower is. Record the sediment type, for example, fine sand, coarse sand, or mud. Record any other notable characteristics, such as on the edge of a tidal pool, a hole, areas of new growth, or a lot of macroalgae. Move the quadrat 50 centimeters across to the right and repeat steps 2 through 7. Try to avoid placing the quadrat in an area with no seagrass cover. Continue to repeat until you have surveyed 5 quadrats. Place a second peg at the end of the 5th quadrat. This should be labeled with the tidal height and something to indicate that this is the end peg. Repeat these steps at mid-tide and low tide, and then you'll have mid and low tide transects set up. Ideally, find a flower at each of these heights before setting up a permanent site, so you can be sure you get flowers here in the future. But it might not be possible to find a flower. If there are no flowers, pick a random place to set up the quadrat and just hope that because you found a flower nearby, it'll flower here soon. Remember, flowering is generally not uniform, so it can be in clusters and found throughout the meadow. The pegs should be left at the sites so they can be easily found next time. Any lost pegs should be recorded and replaced as soon as possible. The labeling on the flagging tape will indicate whether the peg is the start or the finish, and should help you if you lose pegs in the future. Repeat the surveys each month and continue until no flowers are found in your survey quadrats. If you don't have time to visit the meadow that often, then you can reduce frequency. The most important time to survey is November to January, as this is usually when peak flowering occurs. If you are planning on repeating the surveys the following year, leave the markers in the seagrass meadow so you can resurvey the same location. However, if you will not be doing any seagrass surveys next year, please remove the pegs to ensure you leave no trace in the meadow. From here, you can scan the datasheet and send to seagrass@cawthron.org.nz, or you can use our Survey 123 app on our webpage and complete the survey from your phone while in the meadow. This will all be uploaded onto the National Seagrass Flowering Database. Thanks and good luck on your next flowering hunt. We look forward to seeing your data.